welcome back to my channel. So today we are looking at Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. So this one's a little bit special to me because I met Beth when I still am, working in my library, and she was the first, I would say, proper author event. She was the first proper author event that I interviewed an author at. So yeah, I started big, started huge, and she was just so lovely, and she was a joy to interview. It was just before the flat share came out, and she was absolutely lovely, and I'll never forget the encouragement she gave me to get it good on the day, but also to continue and keep doing it, which is what I do now on a quite regular basis, which I found that I actually really enjoy. So anyway, the new book, Swept Away, it's also my first NetGalley book, so it was the first one that I'd got pre-publication. So I was awfully excited because I loved the colour of the cover, as you can see on the screen on the left-hand side. I loved it. It's colourful, it's beautiful. I think they pitched it just right. I also found this book was really reminiscent as well. I don't know, not that I've ever got stuck on a houseboat in the middle of the North Sea, don't get me wrong. But I used to go narrowboating with my ex's family, and it just brought back memories of how small it was, and how cozy it was, and it just brought back those lovely memories alongside some of the musical references and things like that. So for me, it was absolutely beautiful. So as a slight rundown of what the book's actually about, Lexi is the female lead, and she is a bar manager from Gilmouth. And she's been helping her friend Penny raise May, who's Penny's daughter, and she's 4 years old. They fell out. Well, not fell out, but Penny and Lexi, although they weren't sisters, they were brought up together, so they're very close. And Lexi has put her own life on hold so that she can help May, and Lexi's almost like a second mother to May, which is great. Zeke, his parents split up when he was very young, and his dad moved on to a houseboat which was called the Merry Dormouse. I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm reading my notes. I am a little bit. Just make sure I get all the names right. And at the moment, it's moored in Gilmouth Marina, which is where he then meets Lexi. He and his elder brother and sister used to stay on the boat when they visited, but Zeke always felt like he wasn't part of the family. He feels it doesn't fit in. But yeah, so it's described in the book as the certainty that there's no way to make myself into the right shape to fit in, which is actually quite sad. So for years he believed that his dad wasn't his biological dad, and that's why their relationship was a bit odd. But he then passed away, and it turns out that he's inherited this houseboat, but then it got sold. So he's now bought it back, thinking that he could find out the answer to the question that's been eating away at him about whether he biologically belongs. So he then meets Lexi, and they end up having a one-night stand. But they forget to moor the boat or tie the boat to the side when they get on board. So it literally just sails itself out to sea, which is quite entertaining. And they end up in the middle of the North Sea. And yeah, so it's how they then, there's no fuel, there's no working radiator, they don't seem to have any power of any kind. And, there's no phone signal. So literally they are in the middle of nowhere waiting for something to happen. And it's generally how they then navigate. They've kind of got to work together. They've kind of got to, they all want to get back. I mean, Lexi's got May and Penny. And although they've fallen out, you know, blood. I say blood's thicker than water, but you know, when you're that close, you know, it'll come back. You know, you never truly give up, however much you want to believe that you have. So yeah, and then they do things like, you know, they play on, there's like a little bit of battery left in his phones. They play music, and the music they were playing was really reminiscent of not my childhood, but you know, just of roughly that era. You know, because it was a little bit old fashioned. It was a little bit noughties. It was a little bit like Disney, from what I remember. Excuse me, and you know, it's just interesting how I mean, it's very out there. I mean, let's face it, a houseboat in the middle of the North Sea, but it's interesting to see how they survive and how they kind of keep each other going, really, because you know, this is one of the hardest things that anyone would have to do. I mean, you know, all you've done is go to sleep on a boat and then woken up in the middle of the North Sea. I mean, yes, it's a bit ludicrous, but it's also a little bit fun to see how they save themselves. I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to ruin it, because there are some twists and turns nearer the end which you sort of don't see coming. And I'm not going to tell the answer about who Zeke is, because that would just ruin the whole book. So I'm not going to do that. But I would like to thank the publishers, Beth's publishers, for sending me through the book for review through NetGalley. I've really enjoyed reading the book, and it was so lovely to read it, and it was so lovely to be chosen for that. So if you like what you see, if you're enjoying watching how my blanket takes shape, then please like, subscribe, do the YouTubey things. And yeah, there'll be another one of these squares. They're coming up quite often now because I do read quite a lot of books. But yeah, that's all from me today, folks. So take care, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye.